learned during his Navy career has stuck with him. And in this speech, John will discuss his leadership style and some of the leadership lessons, both good and bad, he has learned over the years. Lessons in leadership from a Navy submarine. John.
Stand here, face this way. Toastmasters, just imagine with me back about 30 years ago when I was a midshipman at the Naval Academy. I'm recreating a scene briefly to demonstrate some of the things that have impressed me as a leader. Company, attend! Officers, draw swords! Present arms! No! You're screwing this up again! Where did you learn to handle that sword? Get your head out of your butt! Get out of here! I can't even stand to see you anymore! Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, this is a recreation of a scene that happened back when I was the first class of senior midshipmen at the Naval Academy. We were learning how to use our swords and teach the underclassmen how to march and do close order drill. So it was a summertime, we were all out there as a company. My classmate was actually the company commander who was in front with his sword. I was kind of back here watching all this go on, participating. And there was a Marine Corps captain who was assigned to the Naval Academy to help the midshipmen learn how to march, how to do close order drill. And he came out there and shooed out my classmate in front of all 100 of us in this company. And I learned an important lesson about leadership in that day. I learned that I did not want to be like that Marine Corps officer when I grew up to be a naval officer. One of the things that impressed upon me is that you praise people in public, you reprimand them and correct them in private, which did not happen that day. This morning I'm talking about leadership. Online on the Toastmasters website, there's a little quiz that you do to evaluate your leadership style. And going through that, I learned that my leadership style, which is something I already kind of knew, was democratic. And that's not my political party, but it is my leadership style. And democratic means that I like to create consensus in a group. So if I'm with a team or leading a group of people, I want everyone to participate, everyone to speak their mind, participate in the leadership, to vote, to help develop consensus and work together as a team. As opposed to authoritarian leadership, which is, you do this, you go over there and do that, you do this. That's an authoritarian leader, and that's not my style whatsoever. Democratic leaders are good in many circumstances, and authoritarian leaders have a role too. If there's a fire or emergency, or we're going to storm and take that hill, you need an authoritarian leader to lead in that crisis situation. In my 20 years on the submarine, I believe that my democratic style was useful because we worked together as a team. We were all stuck on this 300-foot long, 7,000-ton ship together to work together to solve our problems. There were times when we had an emergency or simulating combat where authoritarian leadership styles were needed to get people to do what they were trained to do. But in general, if this piece of equipment was broken or we needed to do this project or whatever, we would work together and come up with good ideas, which is what a democratic leadership team does. Over the years, since my Naval Academy days and after my 20 years of submarine service, I've had lots of opportunities to be on teams for various leadership roles. And I've learned some things and some things that have stuck in my mind. 3 of those traits or characteristics of leadership I'd like to share with you that I think are the most important as leaders. The first is vision. When someone's a leader of a group, a team, even as my role as a father and a head of a household, vision is important to impart. Where are we going as a team? We're here today. We want to be here tomorrow and maybe 5 years over there. So communicating that vision is important. In this Toastmasters Club, I've had opportunity to be an officer in the past. And as we look towards voting for new officers later this month, we have to think about that. Who are we going to put in place that's going to create a vision? Where is this group going this month, next month, and a year from now? So that's important as a leader, to bring vision and help people be motivated to fulfill that goal. The second leadership trait that I'd like to share with you is commitment. A leader must be committed to that team, that unit, that organization. He has to be there for them. He has to be marching alongside of them, per se, working to, striving to attain those goals. I think of my role as a father in raising my 4 children and now 6 foster children that we've had. My commitment to be there with them, whether they're succeeding and celebrating victories, committing to victory and celebrating with them, or walking alongside of them during defeats or times when they screwed up. Right? That's the process of being a leader, is being committed, to not give up on the team, to not throw in the towel when things aren't going well, but to keep going and be committed and be alongside with them. The third trait of a leader, I think, is the most important one. It's the one that's going to set that leader apart, and that's service. A servant leader. A servant leader is one who's there not for his own glory, not for his own benefit, but for the benefit of the team. How can I use this group of individuals together to look for their strengths, look for their weaknesses, and bring them together as a team to reach the goal? Individual goals that the people on the team might have, and collective goals that we have as a group. It's recognizing their individual needs or the team's needs and helping them find the resources, equipping them properly, empowering them to do what they need to do. That's what a servant leader does. He kind of puts down his own interests and his own glory to help that team, to move them forward in the right direction. So in conclusion, over the years of my naval career and since, I've learned things about leadership. I've understood my style of leadership. It's not everyone's style, but I think it has worked for me in the types of teams I have been in. I remind you of 3 things that I've learned about leadership that I think are important. Imply a vision. Have a vision to where we're going. Be committed to that team. Let them know that you're behind them. And serve them. Serve the people on that team. Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster.